everybody, and welcome to the Quit Fit British Touring Car Championship here for round 25 of the season as well. A little bit on time on here, but surprisingly, the Touring Cars is actually going on to its accorded schedule. So round of applause there. We're here at Donington Park on the National Circuit as well. And this fantastic venue has hosted British Touring Cars ever since 1977. Last year, it held the season opener. It was supposed to hold the season opener this season, but COVID pandemic switched it around so that Thruxton has started it, and we go to Donington much later on in the year as well. And let me tell you something as well. I wish my commentary box was a little bit more tidy than what we usually have as well up here at the moment, because it is messy. I can tell you that right now, because Megan's been in here this morning as well, getting ready for the start of the F1 that is within the hour actually. So within an hour, our programme will be on. It's a shorter pre-race show than what you are used to for F1 here, just 13 minutes long with a combined time of everything as we get ready. That takes priority. Just 6 races remain in this Touring Car Championship. Ash Sutton leading the title from Tom Ingram, 285 points to 249 as well. The cars head off on their formation lap, bang on schedule as well, which I must say is a big relief as they head down towards Redgate for the first time as well. Redgate is an interesting corner as well. If you take the normal Melbourne hairpin route as well before going on to the last corner, it is technically a slower exit down towards Redgate. However, with this track, because we use the chicane, it becomes a lot easier. Here's what I mean. Here's a look at the track then here for round 25 of 30 of the Quit Fit British Touring Car Championship. This is the track guide we will be looking at as well. If you take a gander as well, thank you, on the circuit, Donington Park is a little bit more treacherous than we think as well, because 2 sectors in total. Just been handed the championship results. So, yeah, Ash Sutton leads 285 points as well. But that's not all we need to be paying attention to. We need to be paying attention to how the championship is currently looking as well. But if I can actually get it off my notes page here, because they're all stuck together. This is how the grid lines up. Row 1 sees Gordon Shedden alongside Dan Lloyd. Row 2, Jason Plato and Rory Butcher. Row 3, Senna Proctor is alongside Colin Turkington. Row 4, Dan Rowbottom and Chris Smiley. Row 5, Ash Sutton and Josh Cook. Row 6, Adam Morgan and Tom Ingram. Row 7, Jake Hill and Sam Osborne. Row 8, Ollie Jackson and Jade Edwards up into P16. Let's hope she makes a great start. Row 9 sees Stephen Jelly and Tom Oliphant. The 10th row sees Tom Chilton and Aaron Taylor-Smith. Row 11, Aidan Moffat alongside Jack Mitchell. Row 12 sees Jack Butel and Sam Schmeltz. Row 13, Rick Parfitt alongside Jack Goff. Row 14, Andy Neaton, Carl Bordley. Row 15 sees Nick Hamilton. Shedden, who's on pole position, has 21 kilograms of ballast. Butcher 27, Proctor 21, Turkington 48, Rowbottom 9, Sutton maximum 75, Cook is on 39, Ingram 66, and Hill is on 57 kilograms of ballast as well. Cam Frozen is fixed. Yeah. It was the problem with OBS as well. It's been a bit of a nightmare so far today for the back of it. And that's why we were late on air as well, actually. We were supposed to be on air a couple of minutes before we were actually on air. Blame OBS. It's been a nightmare, but we've come on air right on time, which means that this race, 25 minutes, is going to take a full duration, which means the pre-race show for F1 that I cut down to be 13 minutes instead of the usual 25 minutes might end up being 25 minutes after all. So that'll teach me in the future, but you can't start it there. So yeah, the F1 pre-show starting at 12:40. So that's 10 minutes later than usual, so that we can make sure we get the touring car race in as well. Come up to the main camera then. It's 16 laps ahead of us here for race number 1 of the day for the Quit Fit British Touring Car Championship. The race down to turn 1 at Redgate will be the biggest braking zone and the biggest crash zone as well, as he comes out towards Hollywood. The Craner Curves, the Old Hairpin, Starkey's Bridge, the Swatch Curve, McLean's, Coppice, and then the Robert Chicane as well, before Wheatcroft lights them up once again on the board. Are you ready? Are you steady? The red lights are about to come on as well. Round 25 of the Quit Fit British Touring Car Championship is about to get underway. It's an opportunity as well for the Teams Championship to be decided with BMW and Laser Tools Racing. The Jack Sears Trophy could also be clinched today with Dan Rowbottom. Can he get ahead? But it's a big opportunity for Tom Ingram, Jake Hill and Colin Turkington to make a last gasp situation to make a charge for this championship over Ash Sutton. 6 races remain, 2 weekends. In 3 weeks' time, the championship will be decided. It's time to kick off Donington Park. Round 25 is under starters' orders with the red lights coming on now. Lights are taking a while to come on. Here they are now. And we are racing now at Donington Park. It's a good start from Gordon Shedden. Dan Lloyd cuts in between as well. He defends from his teammate Jason Plato. Rory Butcher trying to go around the outside. Shedden leads as they come in towards Redgate for the first time. And Butcher trying to go around the outside of Jason Plato as they head out towards Hollywood now for the first time. Downhill throughout the Craner curves. Everyone's making it through cleanly as they head downhill into the right-hander, into the old hairpin. Shedden leads the way from Lloyd, then Plato, Butcher, Proctor, and Butcher goes right round the outside of Plato at the old hairpin. Butcher is up into 3rd place as well, as Rowbottom now battling as well further on with Colin Turkington. They're in a little bit of a wiggle as well. Senator Proctor battling with Jason Plato. He's gone through, so Butcher now up into, 4th position. Butcher 3rd, Proctor 4th. Plato now down into about 5th position. Bad start for Jason Plato. Great start as Sam Osborne battles now with Jake Hill as well over P14. Shedden leads the way, but I'm looking back as well because Dan Lloyd and Rory Butcher seem very racy indeed as they head down now into the Robert Chicane for the first time. Loads of cars slaping about as well, and already that's Tom Chilton who nearly gets an oversteer moment coming through the chicane, almost knocks off the barriers as well. Right. Let's open up the driver tracker because it's now logged in for lap number 2. Turkington battling there with Dan Rowbottom further back. This is the battle for 6th position at the moment. Turkington is a 10th to Rowbottom. Smiley down in 8th place as well. We're on board with Ash Sutton. He's P10 looking ahead to this battle as well as 3 abreast coming into the old hairpin. That's a very late move. And I think as well that was Smiley trying to pass Rowbottom. It was. And now Rowbottom trying to go right round the outside. Josh Cook is right there. Smiley is desperately in trouble now as they come in up the hill towards McLean's. Sutton dives through on the inside and Smiley's lost about 5 positions in the space of a lap and a half. That is a disastrous manoeuvre. So Sutton now moves well up the order. I think he's in P9. According to my timing monitors, he could be. Shedden, Lloyd, Butcher, Proctor, Plato, the top 5 at the moment. Plato down 2 positions as well. Cook up to 8th place. Sutton up to 9th as well. So that is Smiley definitely down into 10th. Oliphant now goes into P19. Sam Schmeltz has gone into 25th place as well. Butcher with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:10.395 as we start the 3rd lap here. So far, they're all just about keeping it up, which is fantastic news. My thanks as well to Josh Players, who's been keeping everybody up to date in the championship contenders as well. Before we came on air, big thumbs up there, Josh, as well. Hopefully we've got the YouTube chat working at some point. To get into it as well. But Rory Butcher, as already, that was Jake Hill looking on the inside to Ollie Jackson. Did he get ahead? Yes, he did. And there's contact as well. There's big contact. Morgan goes off heavy into the barriers, and this will surely bring out a safety car. Almost certainly maybe a red flag as well. Oh, that was Adam Morgan just cutting off Ollie Jackson there. Jackson had nowhere to go, and immediately the safety car is brought out on lap 3 of 16. Adam Morgan is out of the race, backwards into the barrier. It's pulled off some of the tyre wall as well as Dan Lloyd tries to get ahead, but the flags are out, which means that they must now stop racing. They've witnessed the safety car. So safety car is out then on the 4th lap of 16. Adam Morgan looks to be okay, which is great news as well. He's hung his steering wheel up and he's getting out of the car, but that is a big body job there to be done ahead of the next race at 2:35. So Adam Morgan is out of the race and the safety car is out. Looks like I did have the right idea about chaining down the pre-race show to 13 minutes. It's a possible that this could be red flagged, but the tyre barrier looks like it could be repaired. Let's take a look. So Jackson dives up the inside, and then Jackson hits Morgan, and then Morgan has nowhere to go, hits the side of Hill. Hill goes through the gravel trap as well, and Morgan just spins around on the track as well. So all that was caused by Jackson hitting Morgan, and then Morgan just collecting with his teammate Jake Hill. Well, that's only Jackson's teammate Jake Hill. Hill goes through the gravel as well, and Morgan goes through. So this is Jake Hill, third in the title. Now he's down in 27th position. He's lost 14 places now. So that is pretty much Jake Hill's title over with 6 races to go. And there he is. So that is not great news at all. Watch out then for second place in the title, Tom Ingram, to make an improvement. He's currently P12, but Sutton at the moment is P9, getting more points. Points going on 15th here in the British Touring Car Championship. No sign of the red flag, though, which is great news, because if they don't need to red flag the race, then we can continue behind the safety car for at least 2 and then get going again. Let's go over to the YouTube chat. We've got it operational finally. The grid has been cleared. Cam frozen. It's fixed. That's all good. Let's say Josh plays his most recent comment saying there's damage to the barriers. Depending how much damage that might need to be, get circuit maintenance out, meaning they would have to have a red flag for maintenance to come out. Yeah. That is the worry, and if it does go red flag, we might not be able to show the end of the race because of Formula 1. So we might have to come back later on and do the conclusion of race 1 in a very strange situation. Good to see us out, yep, absolutely. But right now, they feel it's safe enough to continue under the safety car, which I'm all for, because the timers now will tick down. It'll be a 17, 18, 19 lap race ahead of us. That usually takes around 25 minutes to complete, so there's 20 minutes to go. So, yep, should be A-OK if we go off here immediately and get ready for the touring cars. And, sorry, the F1 in Turkey. This is Cook. Who's behind Cook, then, on the board? So this is on board with Ash Sutton, then, the championship leader, he's stuck behind him now at the moment under the safety car, as they'll all just continue going around. From what I understand, no red flag needed. If it was a red flag, they would have thrown it by now, which is good news as they come down the Craner curves towards the old hairpin. Sutton now leading the title by 37 points. It'll be Colin Turkington who makes the biggest improvement and goes up into second place to be 37 points back from Sutton. Ingram will be 39 points back as well, so that's still 21 for a win, but Sutton is increasing that gap for a third British Touring Car Championship. 2 weeks' time, the touring cars will conclude at Brands Hatch. And we're looking forward to that very, very much so as well. And we've got everything on next in 2 weeks' time as well. We've got Formula 1, MotoGP, British Touring Car Championship and W Series. 2 races for W Series. I'll be missing the last race of the year there, which is the Championship Crown, because I'll be commentating on the British Touring Car Championship. We think, because there is an opportunity that this touring car race might start at 4:30, something like that, as well, and get everything done earlier because of the fading light. But I'm not too sure on that matter. It could still be a 5 o'clock start, which means I do miss the last W Series race of the year to commentate on the touring cars. But I can take that. W Series isn't my series, it's Megan's. So I can take missing a race. As Shedden and Lloyd 1-2 at the moment. Butcher P3 still with that fastest lap of 110.393. And let's have a look at the chat here, because Josh has agreed they would have red flagged it by now. They're keeping on the safety car. Looks like safety car won't come in this lap. And maybe 1 or 2 more laps. Possible as well. No, safety car in this lap. It's just flashed up on the monitor here in the comms box. Safety car is in this lap. So that is fantastic work by the safety crew to bring this safety car in this lap and get this race started. It'll be a 19-lap race, as I said. So, we are going to have another blast around as the safety car lights go off. And they will come up. The car's just exiting McLean's, up towards Coppice now, at the top of the hill. I've been to Donington Park, walked around it. It's very hilly, surprising. It looks quite flat on the telly, but let me tell you something. Donington Park is very hilly, and it takes a lot out. It's like a hike going around this track as well. Should have been at Donington this weekend as well, but F1 decided to put the Turkish Grand Prix back on the calendar, which meant that I couldn't get to Donington this weekend, which is really annoying because it's a fantastic circuit to be at as well. Into the Robert Chicane. Green flags are back out, and the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship can restart with a 19-lap race ahead of us. This is lap 7. Shedden leads. Lloyd, Butcher, Proctor, Plato, and Josh Cook and Rowbottom are battling already. So is Ingram and Jelly down towards turn 1, and that is Rowbottom diving on the inside and making contact with Turkington as well. Turkington gets a little bit of bump out wide. Coming through Redgate. Rowbottom really getting his muscles out and hitting the 3-time champion as well as he come down through the crane of curves towards the old hairpin. And he looked to the inside, can't find a way through. Turkington tries to hold it. Josh Cook right behind Dan Rowbottom as well, trying to find the opportunity. Cook sending around the outside as they come through the Swatchman curve, and they're touching again, and here comes Sutton. Sutton goes through. Can Sutton try it? Yes, he can! And off goes Rowbottom. Cook forces Rowbottom off the track at McLean's, and now at Coppice up the hill. It's Sutton who's moved up into P8 as well. And that was a disaster manoeuvre between the two of them. Rowbottom's actually dropped down, so it's Sutton up to P7 now. Sutton to P7. Cook, Smiley, Jackson, 8, 9 and 10. Rowbottom drops down to 11th position as well. Meantime, Ingram and Jelly having a battle. Osborne getting involved there as well. It's all go here at the moment. As we look, Daniel Rowbottom now holding off the battle here with Sam Osborne trying to grab the outside as well. Meantime, Moffat's there too. There's a drama now further back as Jade Edwards is getting bumped off the circuit once again. She's side by side with the number 40 of Aaron Taylor Smith. Taylor Smith goes through. Jade's going to try and find a way back around the outside as well. And Sam Osborne gets through on Rowbottom as well, down in the old hairpin. Moffat's trying to come through that as well. Let's take a look at replay with Ash Sutton then. This is the battle. Rowbottom giving no room to Josh Cook whatsoever. Sutton just takes his normal racing line, then decides to take a wide sweep on the inside as Cook forces Rowbottom off the track, and Sutton says, thank you very much. I'll just take the wider line, the correct line, and sweep up the inside. So that's Sutton on a champion's drive at the moment. He can't clinch the title today, but he can put it in very good stead to taking it at Brands Hatch in 2 weeks' time. Dan Lloyd has the fastest lap of the race as Ingram gets battly with Stephen Jelly. Stephen Jelly, who seems to have a broken rear left window on the back as well. Looks like something smashed through the window there. Wonder what's caused that. Looks like it could have been caused by a wing mirror hitting the side of it as they come into Redgate. Yeah, I think it's a wing mirror issue, but Lloyd did have the fastest lap, a 109.829. That's been taken now by Ash Sutton, a 109.821. So Sutton now with the fastest lap of the race. Josh Play saying, all right, guys, calm it down. Yeah, they need to. They are really bumping and balling out here today. Donington Park, living up to its name of a great touring car venue. They are proper touring cars here today. In fact, it is more like Dodgems here today so far. Sutton has the advantage now in the championship. He can afford to take it easy and use his brain to think. Everybody else panicking that he's getting so far ahead in the title. This is why we're seeing the mistakes we are. Shedden, however, leading this race now 3/10 to Dan Lloyd, but Lloyd is coming back into it as well as they come into the Robert Chicane once again, as you can see on your driver tracker, to start lap 10 of 19. They are seriously closing out with each other and battling with each other. Now, this is the big idea as they come in towards Redgate once again. Sutton is now just calming it down. He's got the fastest lap. He's got a distance between himself and Josh Cook as well. The rest of the field pretty much all still stuck together, which is an interesting way of looking at it. Yeah, 7/10 between Turkington and Sutton at the moment, and the gap between Sutton and Cook is 7/10. There you go, look. So, again, increasing and decreasing the gaps. Down Rowbottom now for the Halfords Racing with Cataclean is down in P15 at the moment. Every time I hear it say Cataclean, it sounds really that reminds me of when Peter Griffin said crisp and clean, Novocaine as well. It's just fantastic to think that. As that is Ali Jackson looking for a move at the inside of Coppice. As well, going through at Coppice is Stephen Jelly, passing Sam Osborne, but goes a little bit too wide as well. Osborne's going to go side by side with him. They are side by side. Moffat trying to look to the inside as well. Who's going to back out of it? Coming into the Robert chicane. Moffat's there to capitalise on either one of them, and it looks like Osborne's going to go through. Jelly gets contact with him. Jelly goes through the gravel, avoids the tyres. Side by side, through Osborne. Moffat goes through as well, and now Dan Rowbottom's in the mix as well. He dives to the outside line, so they're closing it down once again. Jelly looks to the inside line. In fact, yeah, that's Jelly and Oliphant side by side. The two BMW teammates making contact as they come through Redgate as well. There's some smoke coming from the back of the 40 of Aaron Taylor Smith's car. So I don't know if that's a wheel rubbing against the bodywork or something more serious like an oil problem, but something was failing there as well. As Jade Edwards now right on the back of Stephen Jelly. She's got a great exit as well out of the old hairpin, up the hill as well, through Starkey's Bridge and the Swarshman Curve. Fantastic racing as well, this one. Lap 11 of 19. Always count on the touring cars to give you a good warm-up race before the F1 goes out later on for the Turkish Grand Prix. That race coming to you at 1 o'clock British Summer Time, live as always. Back to the battle. There's Ollie Jackson now. He's in P10. Chris Smiley just ahead of him in P9. This is the battle over that position as well. Oliphant has the last points-paying position. And Taylor Smith now down into 16th place. Jade Edwards started 16th, has dropped down to 18th, but she's under pressure from Chilton and Goff just behind. In fact, Chilton is now 0.291 off the pace at the moment, so it's getting closer as they come in. Chilton now looking to the inside of Jade Edwards at Redgate. Shuts the door, does Jade. Now we've got the 31 of Jack Goff having a little battle at Tom Chilton as we cut back to the front. Jason Plato versus Colin Turkington as well. How much have we missed saying that this season? Over 5th position, Plato holding his advantage. Plato nearly had pole yesterday as well in the unique 2-part qualifying system we had, like we had at Snetterton as well when we were live. As Plato goes defensive as well on the inside into Coppice. Turkington trying to swing around the outside. It hasn't worked, but that has meant that Plato is a lot slower coming out of Coppice. Turkington in the much more powerful BMW now equals side by side with him down to the Robert chicane. Plato's going to try and hold it around the outside, but into the braking zone. It should be able for Turkington to get ahead and cut across, and he does that ideally. So Turkington now to P5, and that's left Plato a bit defensive to Ash Sutton now. So Sutton closing down Jason Plato. It's all getting good now, isn't it? Let's take a look at the group chat as Josh Play says as well. That was close. There was no way that was going to go through like that. Absolutely. That 13 of 19 here at Donington Park for round number 25 of the season. 6 races left, including this one. 3 races per weekend, of course. 2 weeks' time, Brands Hatch. Race 1 live. Race 2, I think, is live. Race 3 live as well. In fact, I think they're all live when we get to Donington. When we get to Brands Hatch. I'm not entirely sure on that. Let me check my calendar here, because I know there's no racing next weekend. Which is a weird thing, because we're going to break a record we've done since March of having a race every single weekend here on YouTube. There's always been something that you can come along and watch, whether it be Formula E, Formula 1, touring cars, W Series, all that lot as well. Next weekend, absolutely nothing, and I'm taking my vacation. 2 weeks' time, you can join us for the United States Grand Prix, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix of MotoGP, and British Touring Cars ending it. So, yeah, by the look of that, all 3 touring car races will be live in 2 weeks' time as well. So this is the last time you have to use the delay format, with F1 starting at 8 o'clock in 2 weeks for the 7 o'clock for the United States Grand Prix. As they continue going on, it is Shedden leading this race on that 14 of 19. Sutton still with that fastest lap as well, a 1:09.712. And this is where we get into the overtime section of the track now as well, because it was a 16-lap race and it was now been extended by 3 laps due to the safety car. So this is the usual period we see where we have to throw time into it for conclusion. So it should be a 25-minute race, which is great news for us, meaning that we can get our pre-shows in before the F1 Turkish Grand Prix comes out as well. Sutton now holding his advantage, holding his pressure. He's 4/10 now back from Jason Plato. Plato's going to want to have a go at defending and keeping 6th place. Of course, your starting positions for race 2 all determined on your race results from race 1. So for Shedden, Lloyd, that's going to be perfect. They start where they did in race 1, and they've held it together quite nicely. Chris Smiley now, as you can see, he's having a battle for 9th and 10th between himself and Ollie Jackson. Ingram is stuck behind 11th with Sam Osborne looking for a move on the inside at Redgate. Can't get through. So Smiley and Jackson go further ahead as well as they all circulate. 15 and 19. Battle closest on the track. Smiley and Jackson. 3.5 tenths between them for P9. Lloyd and Shedden are getting close. Their last gap was 7 tenths. It's closing now. It's now 6 tenths. So a 10th gained is a 10th lost elsewhere on the circuit. So that's one little braking error there as well. But still, Dan Lloyd putting the pressure on Gordon Shedden as well, finding it everywhere he needs to be. We've only lost one car from this race, and the 29 that started, that is Adam Morgan. The hybrid car that Andrew Jordan was racing at Silverstone a couple of weeks back isn't in this championship race meeting. It was just the 2022 hybrid was a test car. They'll now remove it until next season and bring it in for its brand new hybrid era. The cars sound exactly the same. It's just a hybrid power unit. And hopefully with the touring cars next year, it will be trackside a lot more. Fingers crossed. And we will also be there for the media day as well. So we'll be there on site for the British Touring Car Media Days. Jake Hill moves on the inside and gets ahead of Tom Chilton now as well. There's a battle for the head with Ollie Jackson battling as well now side by side. So this is Chilton and Hill. But meantime, further ahead, I think it's Jade Edwards having a battle with Jake Hill. Yes, it is. So I think that moving up there, Aaron Taylor-Smith has passed Jade Edwards. As we see the two BMWs now having a battle between themselves as they run up the hill into McLean's before the Coppice corner as well. Fantastic track. You can't not smile when Donington's in. You also can't stop remembering the Formula One race that they had here back in 1993. Who was that? Who kicked up some gravel further back as well? Whoever it was, they've held it together quite nicely. So round of applause there for that one. We're into the overtime, 17 and 19 here, as Dan Rowbottom holds off Tom Oliphant as well. If we can get the right pictures, please, director. Rowbottom 14th, Oliphant 15th, Jelly 16th as it stands. And that seems to be a bird flying across the circuit. Side by side further back as well now as Sam Smelt and Jack Goff have a little bit of a ding-dong between each other. Sam's dropped back now, actually, in the Toyota Gazoo Racing. He's under pressure as well from Rick Parfitt. As they swing up now, we join Ash Sutton, who has managed to close up on Jason Plato, and he's going late on the brakes into McLean's. Is Sutton going to have a run coming into Coppice? Well, he's thinking about it. Plato's a little slow. Sutton's a lot more. Speedy Gonzalez at the exit. Down the back straightaway then. He pulls along to the inside line. Think he can have some form of advantage. But Plato, less ballast, of course, is just dragging away. Sutton with maximum 75 kilograms of ballast. That's the only thing that changes for race 2 is the fact that Shedden and Lloyd were going to have 75 and 66 kilograms of ballast. So the maximum amount of ballast will go on there as well for them in the next race. Penultimate lap then. Shedden on course for victory. Just taking a look at my notes here. This will be Shedden's first win since returning to the touring cars. He's had 3 second places and 2 third places, but he has never ever taken a win in this season. It will be a new winner in the touring cars and proof that Flash is back at a track he loves most, of course, as Jake Hill back up into 17th place now, passing Aaron Taylor-Smith as Tom Chilton battling now with Aaron Taylor-Smith. They come through the old hairpin up towards Starkeys Bridge and the Swatch Curve. And according to, for F1 facts as well, Max Verstappen has said this track is perfect for intermediate. So it'll be an intermediate start for the Turkish Grand Prix. That race coming up 12:40. We're going on the air for that one. So in about 15 minutes time, you can join us for that. Final lap then. The 52, Flash Gordon, is on course to win his first race back in the touring cars after a mixed season as well. He's come back into the team, replacing Matt Neal, who's taken more of a team ownership role. And now he's absolutely flying with it and can try and take more of a managerial role, and Shedden can get on with the driving. It's taken 25 races, 3 second places, 2 third places. But finally, the top step is about to belong to Flash himself. Up now into McLean's. Coppice is going to be next. He's now got 1.5 seconds to Dan Lloyd, so Lloyd has accepted second place. Rory Butcher is closing in for that effect as well. Down the back straight away towards Roberts. It's going to be another victory. The first one since he's returned to the touring cars this season. Everybody, you know what to say. Flash. Aha, he's back. Flash Gordon crosses the line and wins a touring car race for the first time this season. Flash is back, and it's about time. Shedden wins from Dan Lloyd second. Rory Butcher finishes third. Proctor is fourth. Turkington rounds out the top 5. Plato Sutton with the fastest lap. That gets him an extra bonus point as well. In the championship goes P7. And then it's Cook, Smiley, Jackson, the top 10. Ingram, Osborne, Moffat, Rowbottom and Jelly round out the points as well. And then it's Oliphant, Hill, Taylor Smith, Chilton and Goff. Sam Schmeltz, Parfit, Butel, Mitchell, Edwards, Neat, Bordley, Hamilton. And the only retirement goes to Adam Morgan as well, being out of the race. Don't forget, the Turkish Grand Prix is next. Josh Plays has kindly put the link in the chat, so go follow the link. 12:40 coverage starts, and the race lights out at 1 o'clock. And as he reminds you there, all times are British summertime. Great race, says Josh. I agree. Great race. Once again, Flash is back. And it's about time that Honda gets onto the top step of the podium this year as well. Dan Rowbottom, looking at it, has had a win this year, so it's only Honda's second win of the year for Halfords Racing as well. Their second win. And it's about time that Flash is back. And look how happy he is. He's punching the car as well, all around. And you can't really blame him, can you? Actually, it's a nice little result there. So let's give you the coverage details. We are starting we could have actually started with a full half-hour show, but you couldn't take the risk with the touring car starting in the hour. 12:40 British Summer Time. We are on air for the Formula One Turkish Grand Prix, a shortened pre-race show before the full race distance as well. A 58 lap ahead of us. The Touring Car Race 2 is live on ITV4 in the UK at 2:35. We will be bringing you coverage at 3:30 British Summer Time, a delayed coverage of Race 2. And then Race 3 is live at 5:20 British Summer Time. Gordon Shedden leads the way from Dan Lloyd and Rory Butcher, the top 3. My thanks to you all for watching. Join us for the Formula One next, and join us later on for the last 2 races of the touring cars from the meeting here at Donington Park. With my regrets, we must leave Donington. Join us again at 3:30.